Hi Professor, this is my week 4 video. The question states, please briefly describe what you believe are some practical considerations for utilizing group counseling in the schools and at different levels of K through 12 education. Reading through the chapter, I've always thought the group counseling can be effective, and I've found that it can help in more ways than just academia. So, in terms of personal, social development, physical development, and promoting kind of career choices, it can also help in that manner as well as academics. I think that there are certain things that you should consider when constructing a group. The most common theme that I found throughout the text is to really consider whom is benefiting from the service. So you really have to take a look at the individual student before placing them in the group and kind of assess their personality and understand if they would be a good member of that group and if they're going to benefit from being in that group. There were certain groups that could be utilized, like grief and loss groups. There were some topics that it said should not be discussed, like disorders, bulimia, things like that, self-mutilation. That would be in more of a clinical setting as opposed to the school counseling setting. This is considered a direct student service. And then some of the things that I think would be important to consider is confidentiality. We always have to consider that in every facet of school counseling. And then also parental permission came up quite a bit. Yes, firstly, your client would be the student, but it did say to involve the parents to a certain extent within the group counseling. And then that the counselor should just promote fairness, equality, and justice to all group members within the group, and just be mindful of the particular school that you're at. That's another thing that I noticed going through and reading some of the material is you really have to be very mindful of your particular school, not even your district, because one school may very much differ from a neighboring school, even within the same district, in terms of the school climate. So you have to really be mindful of that and think in terms of group counseling, what topics you can and cannot cover. Some of the group sizes I think can be a little bit more effective at a smaller size. If you're doing the psychoeducational groups, the sizes were quite a bit larger, 25 to 30 students. I don't think that would be as effective as working in a smaller group setting. So essentially just to think about orienting yourself with the students, understanding and facilitating the correct individuals that would work effectively together, and then kind of transitioning and alleviating some of the fear of the students that maybe didn't want to share so much information or are very hesitant to open up in a group setting. So kind of allowing them to freely speak without fear of rejection or judgment. And then recognizing each of the group members' different attributes and what they can bring to the group. And then something that I found that was very interesting was the term consolidation. I hadn't thought of consolidation in terms of the school counseling setting in the group network. So consolidation meaning after the group counseling has ran its course, you're obviously going to have to consolidate. The group is no longer meeting. And then I found it very interesting to keep in mind and to consider how those group members, so each individual student, is going to react to that consolidation. So it said that some people might be a little bit withdrawn because they're feeling like they're losing something, and then other people might be happy because they feel like they've accomplished something. So to really try and end on a good note and push, the positive impact and changes that these students have made through the group counseling, the consolidation aspect of the group counseling system is not something that I had previously considered, and I found that to be very interesting. So, overall, there are many factors to consider in group counseling. I think it can be very effective, and for certain topics like grief and loss, or maybe divorce, or LGBT, or things like that, I think group counseling is an excellent option. It's just important to formulate that group while being mindful of the group members and what they can contribute in terms of other students and how they're going to react together. I really enjoyed this group counseling topic. Thank you, week 4.